so this is going to be a tarot read for the Firefly Energy Collective. Spirit has shared with me that it is for the spiritually awakened individuals, and it is not going to be time-based, meaning for a particular week. It is going to be, I'm going to call it universal time. So whenever this comes across your desk, that will be when it is suited for you. So, okay. Let me tune in to see which card deck they would like to use. Okay, we're going to start off with the Kali. Okay, for this reading, please let us know what you would like for this group to know, this collective. Please let us know what you would like for this collective to know. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see what came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me see. Okay. And then I would like the Kuan Yin for that spot. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, what would they like? Gilded Tarot. Okay. Please let this collective know what your message is for them. Please let this collective know what your message is for them. Okay, there's the first card. Oh. There's the second. Please let us know, this group, what you would like for them to know. Individual cards, please. Okay. Please let us know. Ooh, there's another. Please let this collective know what you would like for them to know. Okay. So we're going to start here. And, okay, so let me tune in. So with this first one here, I'm going to turn it upside down. Bagalamukhi. She arrests the flow of negativity, particularly that of our own making. She transforms our karma from that which hinders our joy to that which can create true happiness. As you seek refuge in her, you are protected from gossip, slander, and any form of negativity from others. A positive turning of the tide of good fortune is predicted. Okay. So this one right here, what I am feeling is that based on karma, if you are spiritually awakened and you are working through your karma in this lifetime and former lifetimes, that you have less of that karmic attraction of the negativity. So you are protected. So those, whatever people project at you will be transformed into something that benefits you. And that is one of the beauties of being on the spiritual path, where you trust and you surrender that all is occurring for your highest good. And so based on that level of trust, it can be transmuted and transformed into something positive. Next we have this one. Krishna. Let me just read it. You can have what you need and desire, but you must be prepared to enter into the sacred fire to make the appropriate offering. Shift from focusing on what isn't working to handing over all concerns as a prayer offering to the divine. All can then be resolved and shall manifest according to loving and generous grace. Now, this plays off of the card up above it, which is that if you trust, if you are in this spiritual process of becoming the best version of yourself and working through your karma, releasing it, resolving it, and working through it with integrity is what I'm feeling, then part of that is to offer up everything that you no longer desire and to allow the fire, I'm hearing the fire of abandonment to burn off of you. So I'm assuming that there's a lot of us here in this collective who have abandonment issues somewhere in our lifetime. So that is what we are supposed to offer up to the fire. Our abandonment issues, because we don't want to be alone and we want to be loved. And so when we see life play out, we get stuck in that victim mindset of why me? And they're asking all of us here to offer that up and to trust. So shift from focusing on what isn't working. So you just have to offer all of that up and trust that what is happening is for your highest good, and the surrender, the ultimate surrender. So now here we have the Knight of Wands. Let me tune in. So the first thing that really stands out in this particular card is there is a lot of red, and that is root chakra to me. And so I think that a lot of us in this collective, as we are working through our abandonment issues, that is a root chakra issue. And yet when you look, there's so much gold in the armor that we're wearing. If we surrender those abandonment issues, and we will have this armor, and we do not need to worry about anything harming us, because these two cards up above explain that it will all be transmuted and transfigured into something for our highest good. Next, we have the Six of Swords. Now, in this one here, the energy that I feel is some sadness. I feel like as we move through our abandonment issues and really kind of own our past and where it has brought us, that we're going to have to leave some things behind us, which don't necessarily feel good. But if you notice, she's moving this direction. She's just pushing her boat or her gondola away from that which she wishes to leave behind. The water is a very vibrant blue, and so I feel that there is a lot of emotion with this. However, here hidden in the grass is a little green frog. And I feel like that represents our heart chakra, that we're leaving all this behind us in order to get the, this is funny, you know, whether you're looking for a partner in life or just joy in life, whatever that is, this is the frog from the prince and princess stories that we wish to kiss that will bring us that which we desire. But what's interesting is that that frog is going to be a mirror of us, that we need to find ourselves in this journey. And we are still hidden here in the grass, and we're going to need to seek it. So next here, we have Kali Kalmasa Nasini. It is time to free yourself from what has been, learn from it, but not allow it to define you or direct the course of your life. Give up your stories about the past. You have outgrown them. Kali consumes mistakes, sins, and negativities. Let her free you now so you can be open to the gift of your life unfolding. So now this has been a real common message through, or common theme through the channeled messages that I have shared, and that is, if you had amnesia, at this stage of your life, and therefore you had no memories, hurts, pains, aggressions, any of that stuff, who would you be? So if you can go to that place, Kali can burn off all of that negativity and help you to become like a newborn child in this particular age and form. so that your past trauma no longer needs to, it doesn't need to harm you like it has in the past. This one here, I forgot to turn the other one over. Moksha of Kali. You are being offered a spiritual gift from the Divine Mother. Your path need not be one of endless exertion. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment, intending to bring spiritual benefits to the collective through the softening and opening of your heart is an act of worshiping the Divine Feminine. Let yourself receive her loving gifts. So this is one area where we myself included, we focus on our past traumas, and they do kind of encapsulate us into a particular perspective, and we can get into a place of lack, of need. And here they're talking about pleasure, and pleasure can come from many different perspectives. It can be sexual, it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be sensual. So finding those things that really just inspire you to step out of the path of your past. So if once a day, twice a day, you could go into a dream state of what you would like to pull into the future, rather than focusing on the past and the root chakra concerns, that if we can address all of the root chakra concerns, which right now I'm hearing is a lot of financial and emotional abuse and baggage, then we can start to step out of this negative vibration of lack. And it's just a matter of reestablishing or resetting the intentions. Next, I have the Five of Swords. So this one here, what I'm getting from this image is that, you know, we're done with these battles. Here we walk away, we're just gathering the swords from others. We're just no longer going to play in that field, in that energy. We're going to be in these energies up above, where we just move past what has harmed us. Now, it's not that you set the intention once and it just is removed or relieved. It does take manifestation, that you have to continually set the intention and set the belief that this is true, while also doing the inner work when you have those experiences with individuals which do not feel good. Each time you go into what I would call that abandonment response, that trauma response, to recognize it for what it is and learn from it so that you can step out of that cycle. Now here I have the Hierophant, and this Hierophant, I see or feel, it's interesting, it's almost like a marriage. If you marry your higher self, your divine purpose, what you came here for, the colors in this picture just represent that. I call it that space of abundance. So setting the intention that you're going to marry yourself before you attach to anybody else in this world, in order to heal that which has been harmed within you. Then we have the Moksha of Kali. Relief shall come swiftly. Soon you will see things differently. You're going to be liberated from the struggle you are currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward. You will overcome all opposition, be released into improved circumstance, and be supported to bring your sacred path to fruition. So this one here, I feel that if we step out of that cycle of lack, the sooner we can really step out of it, the sooner we can call something else to us, which right here stands out to me. Then, wild love of my, it says, moved by the call. Wild love of my own soul, I call upon you. I trust in the process of letting go and the wild loving life calling me to my divine destiny. I trust in my fearless spirit. So this one here is almost, it's just an affirmation that I trust in the process of letting go and the wild loving life calling me to my divine destiny. If that is what we focus on every day, that is what we call forth. And that right here is the judgment call. By setting that intention, we are calling towards us that which we desire. So this is a different judgment. The judgment is that life which we no longer desire, and calling forth that judgment of life that we do, which is based on honesty and integrity and love and emotion and validation, all of these wonderful experiences. So that's what I'm feeling from that card. Now we have the Knight of Pentacles. So let me see what I get from that one. And this one here, I feel like we're hidden. So the Pentacles represents money, material, goods and belongings. And here I feel like we're still hiding. We're hiding in our suit of armor instead of really showing who we are. I feel like that many in the spiritual community are still uncomfortable really sharing that. And so I feel like that we need to open the visor. We need to show the world who we are so that we're not hiding. We're authentically ourselves and no longer hiding our truth. Okay, so let me see what else they have for me. What cards? Okay, they're telling me these, and I'm not going to clarify all of those. There's just going to be a few. Okay, what would you like for this collective to know? What would you like for this collective to know? Oh, well, there's one that's upside down. Let me turn that one over. Okay, what would you like for this collective to know? Well, there we go. So we have 3 cards. Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords. Let me tune into that card. So to a certain extent, I feel like that part of the energy that's coming from this is that we're going to be sitting on top of the world and we're going to be a little bit lonely as we make all of these decisions. We're not going to have so many people around us. It's going to feel a little bit lonely, but it is also going to teach us discernment of that which we desire and that which we don't. And I really feel strongly that by making these types of calls, right here we have the Knight of Wands, I feel that that sense of lack, the redness that's in the card, that will be overcome because we will be cutting out the people in our lives that don't offer us a sense of security and stability. Next, we have the Seven of Pentacles. Now, what's coming through on this one here is I feel that many of us, as we're moving along this path of spiritual growth, that it is an unusual experience. Let's just put it that way, because that which you believe to be truth is oftentimes shown not to be truth. And that which you never even knew existed or didn't tune into, it is now coming into our periphery. And in this one here, I feel that as we look at these spiritual abilities and gifts and the knowledge, as it comes into our world, we're going to be looking at it with great discernment again, similar to this. In order to step outside of that which no longer serves us, which is what I would call the 3D world, we need to really observe the material world, which here is the Pentacles, to figure out how we wish to use them. So every gift, every ability, every material item, every experience that you have had, everything in your toolbox, if you will, we get to address all of them and figure out what each of them means and how we are going to apply them and how we are going to use them. And then lastly here, we have the Ace of Swords. Now, with the Ace of Swords, what I feel is that this is a new beginning. As we, the collective, the spiritually awakened, who are moving through these very unusual processes, that the Ace of Swords is going to offer us a new beginning. We're going to cut out that and those whom no longer serve us. We're going to make, I feel like, a very rash decision in some ways. We're just going to cut them out. We're no longer going to sit here, like the energy here is we're going to really look at what is truth and what is not. But when we get to that place of new beginnings, we're just going to, I shouldn't say act rashly, but more from a perspective of moving forward and trusting our intuition. We're no longer going to second guess what we wish to do and how we wish to move forward and what feels good and what doesn't. And with this energy here, I really feel that the new beginnings, that once an individual has moved through all of these processes, that this is what will be afforded to everybody in their unique timing. And then one more from that. Whoop. Well, I guess there's 3. Let's see what we have here. The first one is I. Psychic ability. Trust in your intuition. Well, that's pretty much what this entire reading was about. Trust in your intuition and make decisions after you have spent the time really discerning what is real and what is not, and what is truth for you. Chair, empty. Someone is leaving your life. Okay, so that goes back to this card here stating that as you begin to authentically be you and begin to express you out of a place of love, surrender, appreciation for where life is taking you, that there will be people who leave your life because they will no longer be vibrationally aligned with you. They will no longer have the same values, experiences, expectations, and equally important, what they're sharing with me right now, this sword is also boundaries. As you said, boundaries, those who no longer wish to be in your life because they don't like your boundaries, they will leave. They will, I'm seeing the little horns here. So they're going to be a little pig-headed about it, I feel. They're not going to be kind. They're not going to be generous. But if you hold this energy right here, you will only retain those people who are meant to be in your life. And lastly, oh, I love this. Peacock, beware of pride. So I love the peacock energy because it's very representative to me of my spiritual growth, because I have made myself small for much of my experience. And so if you proudly display your peacock plumage to just show this is who I am in this process, and stay away from the ego, right? The ego is the piece that is still trying to control your experiences, your circumstances. So, and it can, when you get to this state here, you can act out of ego because you think, oh, I know best. But if you do it instead from a place of love, of inclusion, meaning I'm going to set these healthy boundaries, but if you can't honor that, then there's not room. That's a different type of a peacock energy, if that makes sense. It's a beautiful plumage versus I am better than you and I'm choosing to cut you out of my life. Sometimes I'm feeling that there will be some harsher words, but if you can really focus on coming from a place of self-love, self-attunement, that you will be less likely to go into the prideful state, but instead will just express the natural peacock plume of beauty and abundance. So if this resonates with you, I would ask that you follow me for additional messages that come from Spirit for the Firefly Energy Collective. And I'm certain that as more readings are done, that this will begin to take form similar to a new TV show that you watch, where you're getting to know the characters. With time, these lessons will begin to build on themselves. I feel like right now they're creating a foundation, and this is the foundation right here of self-care, self-love, walking away from what no longer serves you, marrying yourself first and foremost, and no longer hiding who you are spiritually. Really just, and it doesn't have to be spiritually as in woo-woo, but spiritually as in this is who I am, and I've hidden myself because I have felt that others would judge me. Just feel comfortable expressing yourself in your unique essence and words. So hopefully this will resonate with some of you, and thank you.